Hi, this is Colorful Foresight where we intuitively connect from within. And it's woo woo time where we connect our woo woo into our mundane living. Hi, this is Silvia, Colorful Foresight, and here we have Laura. How are you doing?
I'm so good today. How are you doing?
Are you ready for more woo woo?
I am ready for the woo. Bring it on.
So today the topic called is woo woo even for me. So that means that even though we experience the fantastical or interesting sign of synchronicity, it never gets old. And so two example I want to share with you and then you can share with me is when we manifest the woo woo without planning it, like unfocused, when we act for a woo woo experience. So first one I had is I was online, and sometime in these online reading on YouTube, there are people who practicing their reading the tarot. Most of them are okay, but it's just free and fun. So this one reader said you're gonna attract a dragonfly. Now I live in city area, so we don't really see dragonfly like ever, really, or once every 5 years or something. So I just, well, okay, whatever. So that night I go outside and I see something swoosh, like something swoosh. So I kind of dismissed it. I go to the backyard, get something, and I come back and all of a sudden I saw like literally 4 or 5 swoosh dragonflies. And I have not seen it since. Like I
Wow.
have not seen it since. So, it's not even a coincidence because I have not seen it since. It's like almost a year. So that's when I was like, wow, it kind of felt like a movie because it kind of slowed down. I had all these, it's not one, but like a few of them. And the only other time I've seen a dragonfly is when I'm in the countryside, which makes sense. But
Mm-hmm.
even then, I only see one. So that's like, I didn't plan it. I wasn't thinking about it. That's the
Right.
woo woo, even for me. And
Mhm.
and so another example where I planned this, they said, what you focus on, you attract. Okay. So I start doing that while driving. And I would say, I want to see red cars. And suddenly you start seeing all these red cars and things like that. And I did that with different colors. I haven't done it for years. I used to do it like 10 years ago. And then I would be like, well, I want to see something purple, like a sign that's purple. And then as I'm driving, you'll see like a big sign that's purple, or you see the word purple.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it. I don't know why I don't do it enough because I think after a while, expecting it and it was becoming too much.
Right.
But I would play games with it. I said, I want to see something big and yellow. And then I would see the big crane, a yellow crane on the side of the road while I'm driving. So one time I was with two cousins and I said, I want to see a heart and I want to see the name Pauline. I'm like, that's not nothing, that's not going to happen. There's no way.
Right.
And so after like 10, 15 minutes, all of a sudden on the side of the road, well, on the highway, there was like a graffiti and it said, I heart Pauline.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
And that doesn't always happen. Like I've done other games, but I was like, so, talking about it with you makes me realize as we speak, I this is the way I need to manifest in my life. I had belief in that, so it's easy for me to manifest. But once my brain started kicking in and the game started playing the monkey mind,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't manifest as much. So I'm aware that when I'm more of a open channel versus having all the conditions, sometimes it gets in the way. So what comes to your mind when you hear that? Like you have an example of it's woo woo, even for me.
Yeah, I think it's woo-woo even for me. I think I love the idea of you're making me think of butterflies. So for me, but I've always been, for some reason, and I don't know if anybody's going to relate or maybe not relate, but I've always been afraid of butterflies. And that kind of is a condition that I had since I was small. But that'll be a story for another time. But it's interesting because I realized that butterflies they're so like light. they're very, gentle. They don't really bite. They don't do anything. And it took me, again, a long time to realize these things. And I find myself now in a different climate. I moved out of, the city area, and I live more in a suburb area. And what's funny is that now when I see, I'll say, okay, I want to hear from I want to hear from a relative that's passed. I want to feel, I would like to hear or see something. Give me a sign that my grandmother is around. Give me a sign that my husband's grandfather is coming to say hello. And I'll see butterflies. And they'll come, and it's really sweet. So then I start to say hello. I'm like, oh my gosh, how are you? It's so good to see you. And it's one of these things where it's so natural. It's not anything that it's forcing. It's like, all right, I want to hear from them. I want to know that, they're listening, or that they're around and they're saying hello. So whether it's a butterfly or even any sort of like animal. I feel like animals are spirits, like they're coming to you just to, a bird. Like that's another one. Like there's a bird. I don't know if it's a red robin, but it's a red type of bird, but it's not all red. So maybe a cardinal, or maybe it's a cardinal. So I find that that's another channel. Like if I'm like thinking about something or needing some like support or help, I'll see the bird. I'll see the red robin or the cardinal. And now I'm kind of around blue jays, which is kind of funny. So blue jays are around. So I'm definitely with you on that, Sylvia. Like I feel that and I see it. Aside from a feel, like I actually see it, and I think those are awesome woo-woo signs that your loved ones, the ones that have departed, are like they're near and dear. It's just, again, being open to seeing it, and feeling, and there's a really nice sense of calm when I see it too. Like I feel like, oh, okay, cool. This is nice.
What I like about it, when I talk about bringing the woo-woo into mundane living, it doesn't always have to be like what we see on the movie, like ghosts, or like something fantastical. This is something we all actually have naturally in our life. It's just a matter of we're open to it, and accepting to it. I think butterflies, beautiful birds, hearts,
oh, for sure, hearts.
Yeah.
I see hearts all the time.
Dragonfly, and I never, like I told you, I never haven't seen it since. We all have different ways of connecting with, our own intuition and the world around us. But thank you for sharing. That's wonderful.
Oh my gosh, please. Oh, and ladybugs. Those are not fun. Too.
Ladybug
around, and you're like, oh my gosh, how you doing? What's going on? But I will say this, something that you were talking about before, which I actually think is like what you focus on expands. So I think that was something that I've done that on the highway. I've done that where I'm like, all right, I want to see a pink car. I want to see yellow. I want to see a purple car. I mean, it's not necessarily something that you may see, or but when I see it, I'm like, that's awesome. Or another cool thing. This is another cool thing that I think is if you're into it, it's also the sayings that you see along the way. So like if you're driving and you see something like "make it great," or the license plates speak to you, and like you could have make it a great day, or be kind, or this is your day. Like it's so interesting. Like if you're just around and you're open to even like someone's t-shirt, if they have like a saying on their t-shirt, if you see something in a billboard, or you see something like written on the floor in chalk or something, you just don't know what you're walking. When you're walking, you're out and about doing life, like your money.
You think that being aware of it, or you're accepting of it so you see it more? You think there's certain people who don't pay attention to it?
Yeah.
Or
I think people race through life without kind of taking a breath and looking around. And that's that's the human. We're human. We're trying to get like our to-do list, and we're trying to get everything done every day. But if you just take like a half a step, and just like stop for a minute and look, there's signs everywhere. I really believe that. And I think that the universe is talking to you in different ways, whether it's through animals or through signs or sayings or numbers, like you name it.
But how nice is it that these are the physical manifestation that the universe talked to you through? Another idea that came to me is movies. You'd be thinking something, and whatever you'd be attracting a movie that talking to you as if it's talking to you what you were thinking or experiencing that week. It's like the universal intelligence utilized internet or AI to communicate with you. Our spirit guide communicate with you in so many different ways. So I love that it shows up in ways when we're not planning it and it happens, but we're open to it, or when we do something focused, like the car thing. And I'm talking about the car thing. I think the next time I drive, we're going to do something again with that. It's been a while.
Yeah. I
So
love it.
thank you for sharing. I had a good time.
Yeah, me too. It was fun.
Bye.
Again.